On this week's episode of 2Gs in a Pod, we talk about the untimely passing of Nipsey Hussle. Rest in peace.
We also break down our picks for the NBA Finals, who's our MVP, and what the hell is Shaq doing.
Lastly, George brings back Say It With Your Chest and gives his little slight review of the movie Us by Jordan Peele.
Alrighty then.
Ladies and gentlemen, 2Gs in a Pod, and we're back.
We're back at it. After mathematics. I had to.
Oh, man. Episode 18. We're almost in the 20s, man.
Damn, bro. It's flying.
We are almost in the 20s, man. I am actually looking forward to the 20s.
For sure, brother. For sure.
Absolutely. Like, springtime is here. The weather is looking slightly better.
That's it.
The snow is a little iffy right now, but whatever.
It's slowly melting, though. It's
yeah.
good. It's okay, man. Let it go.
It's
Let it go. Let it go.
It's at a point where outside is less slippery than it is at the court.
Yes, sir.
If you get my drift.
Yes, sir. The court still wins.
Fresh off another basketball outage tonight. And your boy George definitely went ham verbally and physically. And other George was also killing with the shots tonight, man. You're going ham.
By the way, I just want to give a nice, funny, like a light advisory for all those people out there. A chief complaint that we get about the pod is that George and we sound too much alike. But that's the whole point, man. You know, there's 2Gs in a pod. We're chilling in the man cave in the basement. We're doing a pod. And it's funny because even though we're two dudes, we oftentimes have the same thought process or the same mentalities, right? So this is the whole purpose of that. So for all of y'all that say, oh, you guys got to differentiate yourself. Man, I'm not going to start talking in a high-pitched voice like this.
That was your attempt?
That was your attempt, George? Oh, my gosh.
No. Don't go high-pitched with me. You got to stick to one and I stick with the other, okay?
No. Okay, man. Okay.
But,
you mother
bleeper. So that was the breaking news. George addressing the elephant in the room. I didn't think it was an issue until it was brought to my attention and to our attention. And the only time I ever thought there was any slight resemblance was the very, very, very first words that were ever recorded on this podcast on episode 1. And George started off with hello, hello. And that hello, I thought it was me. I actually thought it was me. I'm like, I never said hello, hello. Why would I start off saying hello,
that ain't
hello?
Me. Yeah, exactly.
It sounds like some type of shit I would say to a girl. Like, hello, hello. With my Phil Jackson, whistling, but I can't. But without the whistling, because I can't whistle.
The Phil Jackson.
But man, with that being said, so it was a very tough start to the week this week. We lost an absolute legend in the game.
Nipsey
Hussle was gone way too soon.
God rest his soul.
Man, my condolences to the family, to his wife, to his kids. To his loved ones, to everybody, that were really like heavily impacted, like his fans. Man, this guy, I can go on for the whole episode, but we're gonna try to keep it short because we want to keep our spirits high and
exactly
we want to stay positive here and not talk about the negatives, because the negatives already happened. It's very sad. It's very unfortunate that violence is still a thing that happens in this world on a daily basis. But to take someone who was actually making a huge impact in the community of Slauson, Crenshaw, where he was from, because that is a place that's known to be very violent.
Yes.
And he was out here making changes, creating opportunities for people. He was really like ahead of his time. Like, he was very business savvy, tech savvy. His Marathon clothing store, they say that it was the first ever smart store. Now, I don't know how to explain it better than he can, because he was explaining it in a video that he had somewhere on YouTube where he was doing an interview with Karen Civil. So if you guys search that video on YouTube, I might even just post a link in our when I post this episode online for you guys to watch it, because what this guy was doing was just amazing. It was phenomenal, and
definitely
everybody looked up to him. His music was amazing. I've been listening to this guy for at least 10 plus years. Okay, the first song I ever heard from this guy featured The Game, your boy, The Game, and watching The Game break down like that when he was driving at 4 a.m. on his street and just crying and everything.
It
and
was a tough video.
it was very, very like sad to see, Game being this emotional, despite all the BS that Game has ever done lately with all the, the attention seeking with the shouts.
Don't get me started, man. Don't
like
get me started. Let's just keep it going.
Yeah, I don't want to get into all
Man.
that. It's just the fact that so many people in the game were impacted by this. They were very saddened. I'm very saddened because I can't even watch his videos anymore without almost crying. To be honest with you, man, like I legit wanted to cry every time I see videos of Nipsey now, and he has a lot of great videos on YouTube all over the place, and his music and his legacy, it shall live on forever. So rest in peace, Nipsey Hussle.
Rest in peace, Nip. And also, too, I just want to add, great point that George brought up here, saying how this guy had so much insight. He saw the future, and he was always thinking forward. His last tweet was to quote him, quote, "Having great enemies is a blessing." That's the last tweet that he tweeted. That right there tells you that the guy felt uneasy, but he accepted the fate, and he probably felt like bad shit was about to happen. That's how much of a forward thinker he was. He was very insightful. He inspired a lot of people. Just the fact that there's such a large outcry from a lot of rappers. I do got to say, George, I have one beef, though, with all these rappers. A lot of them that never got the chance to perform with him or record a song with him, they all said the same shit. Oh, it was a shame. I was in studio with him, but I never recorded. I never recorded. That, to me, infuriated me, George. And it infuriated me because these are the same rappers that would go out of their way to perform a song with like Justin Bieber and like Dead Mouse and like random ass
Non-hip hop acts.
Just like very popular acts, but not actually pertinent to their culture or to hip hop. Whereas like real ones like Nip did not even get the chance to get this full exposure. A lot of people out there don't even know who he was, right? They can't even tell you or name you one song. And that's because a lot of these artists probably felt like his shit was too serious or it was too dark or too deep for them. So instead of performing a track with him, being in studio with him, having the opportunity to, they passed that on and they said, you know what? I'll go do a fucking track with like Justin Bieber or some shit. That to me really pissed me off, especially when I heard Fabulous was, I was in like the record studio with him 2 or 3 times over the last 10 years and we used to shoot the shit and it was deep convos, but we never had a chance. Man, Fab has been featured on the worst tracks, on so many pop ass tracks. This guy is everywhere. Are you going to tell me you did not have the time to do a track with Nip? No, because you chose not to because you wanted a quick hit, a banger that was going to go on all of the shitty like FM stations like Hot 889 and Jump 106.9, all that shit. So you passed that up and you instead did songs with all these, yes, I admit, popular people, but whack acts and whack artists. That to me was kind of a piss off. The amount of rappers I saw saying that was shocking. And then I had to go through a track listing of Nip and see, man, he was definitely a feature on a lot of tracks, but a lot of people did not ever appear on his albums, man. And this is a shame,
Well, his last album, which was Grammy nominated, Victory Lap, that album was like 7 years in the making. It was supposed to be part of a trilogy. It was supposed to be part of a mixtape series, the Marathon. The Marathon continues, and he has like a pattern with that. Like he has a theme with that. His store is named the Marathon Clothing. Like that was the name of the store where sadly his life was taken right in front of it in his own community, man. Like that's the worst thing that could ever happen.
At his store, man. At his store. It's
like
crazy.
Like, bro, I've been talking, I've been tweeting, I've been saying so many things, and I can repeat myself over and over and over. it's not going to change the fact that he'll never come back. It's really sad because he just had so much more to do. He had so much work. He had so much to give to this world, so much game, so much knowledge to spit to everybody in the world. And now what they're saying is he's our generation's Tupac.
It's crazy, man.
I don't have nothing against that, to be honest. Like the dude did so much, and those rappers who said that, I'm not even gonna make a comment on it. It is what it is. There are the dudes who obviously spent time in the studio with him and have released songs that are available to the world to listen to. Their quality music. He's always made quality music. Even if you listen to his music, listen to what he says, man. Like, people think it's all gang related and gang, but he actually, it's like foreshadowing almost when you listen to his lyrics.
Yep.
It really is. It's crazy, Like that song, Blue Laces 2, on my way here to the pod. That's what I was listening to. I feel like I want to put it on a repeat forever. I love that song. I love it so much. Victory Lap. And I'm going to tell everybody here, all our Canadian listeners, our potential international listeners, anybody who's listening to this, stream his music, buy his clothing if you have to. Go on his website and just support him as much as you can, because he owns his masters, which means everything that he gets, it all goes in his pockets. It goes
And it's
to
going
his
to be
family.
helping his family, right?
So we want to support his family, his loved ones. Lauren London, my condolences to you. His daughter, his brothers. This guy had a whole family, man, and his brothers, man. Like, he has a brother that looks so much like him, and it's like, now if I look at him, it's like I can't picture.
It's Nip.
It's like I can't help but to see Nip in him.
Honestly, it's a crazy loss. I'm glad that they have a suspect right now who is in custody. I hope the evidence is there, and I hope he gets the punishment he deserves from the legal system. It's very much a shame. I just don't understand, like, gang violence, man. I don't understand how trying to wipe a person out is going to fix anything. How can you operate daily and think to yourself, I'm going to take a man's life. He has kids. He has a wife. It goes back to what we were talking about last week, George, when we discussed the topic of, like, mental health and how we battle with people not doing the right thing, right? And it affects us. How can you think that that's okay, right? But I mean, everyone is built in their own way. It's a shame that it actually had to happen. I'm happy that there is this outcry. To be honest, when I heard about his death, I was extremely saddened, but I didn't think a lot of actors and actresses and, like, rappers and this and that would actually speak out. So I'm glad they did. I'm very happy about that.
Man, the dude who shot him checked himself into a mental institution. I don't know if that was his escape route, like, for him to go ahead and finally admit himself in there so that he can kind of get away with things.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to get away with anything. I think it's going to hurt him in the long run, because the dude knows that after that happened that he was going to get caught eventually. And one good thing that I saw 2 days ago, one good thing that I saw this week, so many basketball players who actually met the guy, who come from the same place as him, a lot of Californians in the NBA. And one thing that was the second time to ever happen in the NBA was Russell Westbrook dropping
2020.
Yeah, the 246, 220, 40, 60. And initially when I heard about it, I didn't do the math. But then all you're thinking of is, man, to accomplish that today is so hard, because the only guy who ever did that was, you guessed it, Wilt Chamberlain, and that was back in the 60s.
Exactly.
Which is funny, right? He's 60s.
When he's playing ball against dudes that are 5'8".
Yeah.
And then white dudes who are 5'8".
So Westbrook went and achieved that, but he had a purpose behind it. And I salute him to the fullest for doing that as a tribute to the homie Nipsey Hussle, because Nipsey Hussle grew up in the 60s.
Sir.
The 60s is not the decade. We're talking about a gang in California, in Slauson. So big ups to Russell Westbrook. And I'm
to
looking
all the fans, bro. To all the fans of any track and any album by Nip, and God rest his soul, man.
I'm looking forward to the playoffs, which is happening any given moment now. We're really almost there. It's about that time, man.
It's a stressful time, man, because the Heat, they've been in 8th place for weeks. They just got dropped to 9th, man. They had a tough loss against Orlando that they're battling. for that 8th seed, which is ridiculous. It's fucking Orlando Magic.
So Orlando is climbing up the
They're
ranks
eighth
now?
now. They're 8th, and they're half game up on the Heat. And the Heat, they lost a close one to Boston.
I'm
That's
kind of
messed up, man.
I'm kind of surprised. I thought Miami, because I haven't been too in tune with the NBA lately because of obvious reasons, Breaking Bad. But
Hashtag BB.
when I saw when George just announced that, I was kind of surprised. I thought Miami was always like in a secure spot, like a 7 or a 6. But now you're telling me they're fighting for their lives to make an 8th seed? That's crazy.
Yes, sir.
So other than that, what else is keeping your interest going in the NBA right now? East Coast, West Coast. Who are your favorites right now? Because now we're deep into the season. We're at the very end of the season, actually. And I asked you at the very beginning, back in October, I was kind of asking for your input on who you think is going to make it super far. Who are your MVP candidates? Can I get those answers now at this point?
I think so. I know the MVP battle has come close. Everyone's saying, is it James Harden? Is it Giannis? Is it James? Is it, is it Giannis, James, whatever. It doesn't matter. I think at the end of the
Say
day,
his last name, though.
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Oh, just a quick little test. Pop quiz.
Antetokounmpo. I honestly, it's tough for me to differentiate between those two, and I'll tell you why. Off the cuff, I want to pick Giannis because I feel like he's on the brink right now of becoming the next LeBron, and I'm not talking about in terms of a skill set. I'm just talking about in terms of sheer dominance. Like, the guy has shot 28% from 3 all year, except for the last couple of months. He's actually been over 35%, but he's averaging 28 plus points a game by like all of the field goals that are twos, bro. Dunks, shots, banks, hook shots.
I've never actually seen
it's
him
crazy.
shoot shots. I always see him in the paint.
It's crazy, man. It's hard to average that many points with great efficiency, taking these kinds of shots, dunks and layups, etc., etc. However, the reason that I have a hard time definitively saying it's him is because of their coach, Mike Budenholzer. Because this guy is my nominee for Coach of the Year.
That sounds like a neo-Nazi name. Who is this guy? What?
He
Budenholzer?
Man, don't tell... Man.
Budweiser?
Coach Bud, bro.
Whatever, Bud. I don't know, Bud.
He won Coach of the Year while coaching the Atlanta Hawks to 66 wins.
Oh, is that when the whole starting lineup made the All-Star?
Whole starting line made the All-Star, yeah.
Oh, shit.
So it's his first year.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. The man who always has a weird, a constipated face, right?
Exactly.
I know who you're talking about.
And he has a receding hairline with that orangey brown hair. He's a great coach. He's a fantastic coach. And it's tough because he's my candidate for Coach of the Year. So I got to ask myself, is it the coach that brought the MVP out of Giannis? Because if it is, then I can't give him the MVP, but I got to give Coach Bud the Coach of the Year. Or is it Giannis just taking a natural step in his normal progression? If it is, I got to give him MVP, and I can't give Coach Bud the Coach of the Year. It's just like saying the Coach of the Year is like MJ's coach or LBJ's coach or the coach for the Lakers back when your MVP of life was there,
Yeah.
Mr. Bean Bryant. So it's tough. I can't say who's Coach of the Year and who's the MVP when I'm talking about the Bucks. I gotta say I'm leaning towards picking Giannis as the MVP. But if it's James again this year, man, I would not be shocked. He almost got it 2 years ago, but he was beat out by Russ. And he finally won it last year, and he's in the running again. He's killing it. And if it wasn't for him, the Rockets would be in the 8th seed right now because they were doing terrible this year. And they've battled so many injuries, right? I think the only team who had more calculated injury games than them were the LA Lakers. So it's tough. He has been healthy all year. I think he's missed 2 games, which is crazy.
Harden?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's missed more, but yeah.
I don't know, man. He he's been an Iron Man all year because this guy has brought the team up from like the 8th or ninth seed all the way up. They're a game and a half out of the like top 2 in the Western Conference, which is obviously a much better conference, right? So it's tough. It's tough.
It's hard to get injured when you're taking four step backs.
That's true.
It's hard to get injured. Like there's nobody there to follow your steps, no pun intended, as you're actually backing the hell up to do these step backs for 3.
Yep.
And when he does decide to go into the paint, well, he does it usually when there's nobody around. It's super easy, wide open layups and dunks. I don't care about Harden, to be honest with you. And let's look at it historically, right? When Westbrook won the MVP, that was, to me, was like a unanimous decision. For me, I'm not the judge here, but if it was my opinion,
I would have to disagree on that. But
the 16-17 season, we gave it to Westbrook. The following year, Westbrook repeated the same stats. He averaged another triple-double, yet he was nowhere to be found in the MVP discussion, correct?
That's true.
So who did they give it to? They gave it to Harden.
Yep.
This year, Harden is basically doing even better than he did last year statistically. He's still dropping his 35, 36 a game. Last year, he was doing 30-plus as well. But now we're acknowledging another player who is the most dominant player, one of the most dominant players, at least the most dominant in the East, in Giannis.
Yep.
And then there was also another little slight controversial talks that Shaq said, saying that Giannis is more dominant than Shaq was at his age.
At his age, yep.
Now, I got to agree with Stephen A. Smith saying that is just some bogus talk. Shaq is just saying that for promo, for marketing purposes. I don't know what the hell he's trying to promote.
Of course.
But Shaq knows damn well.
I don't think he's trying to promote anything, bro.
He's lying out of his mouth. He's gonna come back in the future and say,
his way of staying relevant. That's what it is.
He's gonna come back in a couple of months or in a couple of years and say, "Oh yeah, I lied." You know what I mean?
No, honestly, Shaq.
He did a Eddie Guerrero tactic.
Honestly, he's very good at marketing. He has to keep his name in the public eye. So every couple of weeks, you'll get buzz. Oh, he's planning to DJ at a music festival like Lollapalooza. He's gonna be here. He just became maybe like a few weeks ago he became a president or a co-president or on the council board or some shit of like Papa John's. It was all over the news. Again, this is Shaq and his PR team. Every couple of weeks he has to say a statement or he has to make a move. It's good advertising. That's all it is.
Well, Shaq is also part of the
self-advertising.
He's part of the TNT crew. Don't forget that. So no matter what he says, he's always going to be in the public eye. He's always going to be on TV. The offseason, of course, is going to be less. But, if Shaq disappeared from media, just disappeared from society, let's just be honest, man. All the real basketball fans will never forget the name of Shaquille O'Neal. Who's really going to forget Shaq? We all remember the type of stuff Shaq was doing as a Laker, as a Magic, and even as a Heat when he won his 4th title with D-Wade, your boy, your idol, D-Wade. And Shaq does not need to say anything controversial or anything that is just going to keep his name in people's mouths. If he wants to stay relevant, honestly, again, like I said, he can just vanish from TV. He can vanish from the game and just go home and take care of his family or whatever. And on top of that, he has a son that's going to be in the NBA anytime soon. So who knows, man? Maybe his son will just continue Shaq's legacy without even having to talk.
Who knows,
you know?
man?
So, and man, shout out to all these basketball players who got sons, man. Like we gotta figure out a way for Kobe to get a son, man. Kobe, man, you just gotta keep going ahead and
he's trying with.
You gotta keep poking, bro. You just gotta...
Man, I'm telling you, don't worry, man. Trust me, if there's one dude who's excellent at letting it fly, it's Kobe, man. He's gonna let it fly.
He's gotta pipe it up a little bit more, man.
Trust me, man. He's gonna let it fly.
We gotta bust that Migos right now, real quick.
So aside from the MVP talk, who do you have, George, in the NBA Finals? And I know we're like bloviating right now. We're just talking like sports gas bags.
That barbershop talk, man.
But it's all good. So if I had to point a gun to your head right now and say pick 2 teams, NBA Finals, a best of 7, who you got in there?
I'm gonna say Raptors and Warriors.
Ooh.
And you know what though?
That would be a nice matchup.
And I've been saying that actually for the last couple of years, even though LeBron was on the Eastern Conference before, I would always say, man, the Raptors are eventually going to make the finals. And I said it last year, and I'm going to say it again this year. And I know I sound like a broken record, man, every single time saying this, but If it's not going to be this year, it'll never happen. But guess what? They keep proving me wrong, and they keep coming back and stronger than ever the very next year. Even though right now they lost their first seed in the East, that doesn't mean anything. Look at the freaking Cavs last year. Cavs were like in 4th place, and they still made it to the finals. And seeds don't mean anything, to be honest, anymore. Not as much now as they did before, when it was like the Miami Heat era with LeBron. That was a really big deal, having the first seed, because whoever would make it to the finals had the advantage.
Bro, it comes down to health. The Raptors are being smart. They are trying to rest dudes. They're trying to get
Kawhi.
everyone healthy.
Yeah.
Because the Bucks right now are gunning for that 1 seed, and their team is broken. They got 3 or 4 key dudes that are hurt, including Giannis, who's playing with a bum ankle. Is going to come back to bite them in the ass for sure. And I commend them because they're gunning for it, which is good. But still, at
Is it
some
necessary to go for that 1 seed right now?
It's not, man. It's not.
So how long is he out for?
You, well, no. He's playing, and he said, I don't miss games. I don't care about my ankle. I don't miss games. I try to be there for the fans all the time, and I try to give 110%, which is commendable. But if you combine his injury with the Mirotic injury, with the injuries going on to Chris Middleton,
Middleton is injured.
He's injured too. They have
All-Star, right?
They have key dudes hurt, man, and they need to get people back on track. That's number one. However, I will say for NBA Finals for this current year, I will say the following. From the Western Conference, I'm picking at the Houston Rockets.
Okay, fair enough.
I know it sounds crazy, but they sniffed it last year. They came so close.
That injury thing was plagued them. Yeah.
I think though the injury thing has been overblown because the Warriors were destroying them in games 5 and 6 before Chris Paul got hurt. So I think if you looked at like the upward trajectory of all those games, I think regardless the Warriors were going to win, but it's a huge what if, right? I honestly think that they're a lot more hungry this year. They're going to catch the Warriors asleep. They still have not incorporated a fully healthy like Boogie in there. And I think it's going to come back to bite them in the ass. And I know from experience. I am a Miami Heat diehard, and I'm a super fan, regardless if they're first place with the big three or their last place. I can tell you right now, if you have a super team that has been into the finals for so many years, you get accustomed to turning that on switch on. Okay? But if you don't do it enough during the regular season, it's going to come back to bite you in the playoffs. And that's what happened in 2014, the last year of the Big Three era. They had the switch off all year. And it came time to turn it up. They almost got beat in the Eastern Finals. They passed through. And then they got smoked by the Spurs. Even though the Spurs, they fucked around with the AC system, which was not cool. And
that's your bogus claim, by the way.
And the Heat went home tied 1-1 with a chance to have been up 2-0. That's fine, because over the course of those next 3 games, they got their faces wiped on the floor, and that's because they did not turn that on switch on. I think the same thing is going to happen with the Western Conference this year. That I think, man, the Houston Rockets will actually like make it out. And I'll tell you right now, I'm not going to be surprised if the Warriors get bumped out, bro, before the finals. Before the NBA Finals, like if they lose in like a Western Conference Finals or semi, or even at the opening round, because as it's slated right now, they are to be playing the OKC Thunder, and I know the OKC Thunder in their last 19 are 6 wins and 13 losses. They're playing like shit. They were in the 3rd seed and they dropped all the way to 8th. Yeah, but it's
Westbrook, what's up, man?
Yeah, but it's also
PG.
because they have an unhealthy Paul George, who apparently, what I heard was he has a torn rotator cuff and he's playing through that, which is fucking crazy.
That's unfortunate, man.
He's a warrior. He was having an MVP type year.
Caliber, like post All-Star weekend.
Definitely, bro.
And then that one thing just hit him and clipped him.
Yeah, exactly. But I am going to say, I think the Houston Rockets are going to come out of the West. And I got to tell you, I think the Toronto Raptors are going to be coming out of the East. I think the Raptors have more team chemistry than the Sixers. And the Sixers, if you watch them play, nobody knows what the fuck they're doing.
It's a lot of selfishness on that team.
There's a lot of alpha dogs, which is not good, and they only had half a season to actually learn what to do. I think Boston Celtics are shit. And I don't even think they're gonna make it past the first round, even with the Kyrie playing at 110% like he has been. And I think it's gonna be Bucks and Raptors in the Eastern Finals, and it's gonna come down to health. I think the Raptors are just gonna win because of health. And if the Raptors make the NBA Finals, even if they lose, bro, there's no way that Kawhi is gonna leave. And if he leaves, no one is gonna respect him, because he's going to get that same heat that Durant got. Even though he's not going to be joining a super team probably, I don't care. If you lose a team that goes into the finals or has a chance, if you abandon a fan base like that, you're whack. You're super whack. But it's really important that the Raptors try their best to keep him regardless. I don't care if you have to offer him like a percentage of the team, man. I don't care. But you keep that dude. But if they lose him, it's not a problem, because the Raptors have salaries on the books that make it so easy to do a quick reboot. They can drop Mark Gasol because he has a team option.
Mm-hmm.
They can trade Kyle Lowry. He'll be in the final year of his deal.
Oh wow!
And they can, and if by chance they gotta lose Kawhi, that's fine, and they'll also have Ibaka going into his final year, and teams have it easier to trade a dude on the last year of a contract, sure. Right? Yeah. So ultimately, they are in a good spot, regardless if they keep him or not, or if they keep the team going forward, or if they have to hit a reset. It's going to be a quick reset in an Eastern Conference that's not that good.
So we have something quite similar in a sense that our final four teams come down to the same ones. Like my picks were going to be Bucks versus Raptors in the East, and then you had the Rockets versus the Warriors. And it could, honestly, for both ends, it could go either way. And that's why I hesitated when you asked me the question. I'm like, do I take the Raptors or do I take the Bucks? Because it could really come down to either of those two. I don't want to put the Sixers because you mentioned it. There's too much ego going on that team. Too many, big-headed players on there. You got Embiid, who's supposed to be the leader of the team, for the new gen players, right?
Yep.
Then you got Jimmy Butler, who always sees himself as the greatest player of all time. Like, this guy is always ahead of himself. I always see him as that kind of guy. He's always been toxic on his previous teams, and I feel like he's going to bring that same energy now, especially since Tobias came around. When Harris came around, I felt a little like I sensed some jealousy on Butler's end. He's like, "You're not about to come take my team."
Definitely, but
I just got here.
But it was a good move by the Sixers because Tobias Harris is their insurance policy in case they don't want to keep him. In case they don't want to keep like Butler,
they got him. Yeah,
they have him. And to be honest, it's better not having that many alphas on at the same team. And it's much cheaper. If I was them, I wouldn't even give an offer to him, or I'd give him a low offer. Offer the max to Tobias Harris because he's a lot younger. He's a better overall player at this point in his career. If you asked me 3-4 years ago when we were seeing prime Jimmy Butler on the Bulls, I'd say it's a different story. But he's older, and he's 5 years older than Tobias. If I'm the Philadelphia 76ers, I'm not extending Jimmy, or if I do, I'm trying to tell him it's on our terms, so you're getting a much lower contract and a much honestly a diminished role. But if not, I'm going forward with a big three of Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, and Tobias Harris, and put shooters around them, and you're set.
JJ Redick.
But you got to re-up JJ, and you got to add a bunch of... Man, you got to add a lot of shooters because they don't have... If you took the current team of this year and you got rid of all of the role players they had, and you added the role players they had last year, like Robert Covington, like Bellinelli, like Ersan Ilyasova, dudes that were gunners, dudes that could hit the three, I think they would be the best team in the East right now. But they have a top four, which is good, but they don't have a supporting cast.
Yeah, in the real times right now, currently, Sixers, Boston,
Out.
they're non-factors to me.
They're out.
And everybody else can just go ahead.
It comes down to Bucks and Raps.
Y'all
That's
can
it.
just do like hockey players do and just go golfing or go fishing or whatever, like the TNT crew does with the Photoshop. I'm just saying right now it comes down to the Raptors, the Bucks, and to be honest, man, I wouldn't even mind as much as I gotta be like biased towards the Canadian team for the Raptors. I would not mind seeing the Bucks go because any team that does not have LeBron going to the finals is a good day for me. Despite him playing on my team right now and he's officially out for the rest of the season. I just love how they.
I saw a crazy stat, by the way, George, the other day. This is the first time in, I think, like over a decade where in the NBA Finals you are not gonna see.
Shaq,
Dirk, Kobe, Shaq, Dwayne, and LeBron, or something like that. It was crazy. Like 13 or 14 years, some crazy streak.
No, it was a bigger stat than that. It was like 30 because they were including Jordans in
Okay.
era too.
Okay.
So it was like Jordan.
Yeah, bro. So
Duncan.
that's that. I didn't see that one. I didn't see that
because as soon as Jordan retired from the Bulls, the following season Duncan won. So and then when Duncan won, the following year after that, Kobe and Shaq won. So it was like every year those players were in the finals.
Yep.
So that made that stat just incredible.
Crazy,
and
man. Crazy.
All Hall of Famers. And then LeBron's stat, which was the obvious one.
LeBron.
No, the LeBron stat that made me laugh was him not the last time not making the playoffs was in 2005, and everything that was happening in 2005 was just so different than it is today. 2005 feels like it was just yesterday though. Like
Crazy.
I graduated from high school in 2005. I graduated in 2005. The PS2 was still popping.
Yep.
I was still playing Grand Theft Auto 5. Sorry, I was still playing Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Okay. What else was popping?
San Andreas.
Oh yeah, we didn't have no iPads and stuff like that.
No.
We had the OG like MP3 players, the little sticks. What else, bro? Like the Blockbuster was on and popping back then.
Yep.
And
everything changed, man.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you, 2005 was the last time. But like every year after that, and the first year he made it was actually LeBron's introduction to the crab dribble. You remember that? Remember LeBron's crab dribble days?
No.
Against Washington. You don't remember?
No, man.
In his first round against Washington, the guy had a game winner off a crab dribble because it was basically his version of a double dribble. Like he traveled the shit out of the ball or double dribbled, and the
of
refs
course they didn't
never
call
called it.
Yeah,
and then he actually won the game off that crab. Just go ahead and YouTube crab dribble, and you'll get a whole documentary on it most likely.
That's amazing, man.
So NBA right now, playoffs are coming real soon. Warriors and Raptors. That's my pick, and I think George was saying he wants to see the Rockets. Now, if Rockets do catch the Warriors slipping, that's even better too because, I mean, enough is enough, man. Like, we've seen enough of the Warriors. Like, they've had their nice little run from 15 to 18. 4-peat in today's day and age should be easy, but
it's enough time. It's enough time, honestly.
But it's never happened. It hasn't happened since, like, the Celtic era from, like, Bill Russell days. Like, when was the last time we've seen a 4-peat? We weren't even thought of yet. Like, we weren't even in our dad's nutsacks yet.
This is why I am very happy with like a news report today saying like that it's a sure thing. Kevin Durant is gone. He's probably going to go to New York. I'm happy. I want to see a little bit more balance, If KD goes to the Knicks, they're automatically my top choice for the East.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if they put bums around him. To me, right now, he's the best player in the NBA. If you asked me that 3 or 4 months ago on our earlier pods, I would have said, no, it's still LBJ. But he's hurt right now and he's aging. And, you just don't know if he's ever going to get back to that plateau. I got to say KD right now is the best player in the whole league. He's a sneaky MVP candidate. If he doesn't get any MVP votes, I think it'll be a shame because he's having a great year. And, I'm excited. Honestly, bro, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not that hyped about the playoffs because it's almost a sure thing. We're going to see the same teams in the finals probably.
No, we're not.
But I'm saying like the same teams that were like predicting, you know what I mean? We're thinking. So it's not going to be, there's going to be a random 8th seed. No, it's NBA. There's like almost no parity. Every year, the top Bro, you know the top 4 teams in each the top 2 teams in each conference are always in the Eastern Conference Finals every year, except for like 5 in the history of the NBA. I'm more excited about a July 1st, man. I can't wait to see all the free agency, man.
So we're more
I want to
excited
see
for
what Kyrie.
that.
I am, man. I want to see where Kyrie's going. I want to see where KD is going. I want to see if the Heat can actually pull off something. Please, Pat Riley, don't sign Jimmy Butler. I have a feeling it's gonna happen because they felt pissed that they didn't trade for him. I'm happy they didn't. I don't want you to trade the farm for Jimmy Butler and then pay him $40 million a year. Please don't do that, Pat. And Pat, we trust. Pat, I trust you. Please don't get Jimmy Butler. But I'm excited about.
I'll send the link to Pat so he can listen to this podcast after.
Please,
I'll make
bro.
sure Mr. Riley.
He can't. I don't want Jimmy Butler, man. I want a balanced team that's actually legit. I don't want this team right now, and I don't want a team where our best player is Jimmy Butler.
I want to do this one special last segment before we end the show tonight with the get it off your chest.
Yes, sir.
So I'm gonna get some shit off my chest.
Yo, get it off your chest, man. Say it with your chest.
I think that's what it was supposed to be called. Say it with your chest.
Yes, sir.
So it's called Say It With Your Chest, the last segment of the show tonight. And so I finally went to go watch Us, the movie by Jordan Peele, over the weekend. And,
what was your overall idea about the movie? Did you like it?
No.
Word. Ooh.
So was that supposed to be like a Ric Flair woo or
woo!
A baby woo?
Woo woo.
Oh man, I want to talk wrestling too. WrestleMania is coming up. By the way, if you don't have the WWE Network, please get that right now. I'm doing a free shameless plug for WWE. I'm doing free promo for y'all. If y'all hear this ever, if Vince McMahon somehow managed to hear this podcast, please hire me. I want that Vince McMahon money. You know what I mean? I want them billions out here. No chance. Is that what you got? Yeah, no. So get off my chest. I went to go watch Us. Now, my problem was not actually with the movie itself. It was with the actual experience at the movie theater, which was the VIP theater. And I didn't actually watch it in the VIP. This couch that I'm sitting on right now is more VIP than the whole theater.
Definitely.
And
I hate VIP couches, bro. I hate them.
You don't fuck with them, huh?
No.
I only went to watch one movie. It was a Liam Neeson movie a couple years back. Actually, it was last year. I went to go watch that movie that came out last year. And I didn't.
Was it like Taken 12 or something?
Yeah, no, Tekken 12. It was
Tekken 12.
It was Yeah, that sounded like
Tekken 12.
That Tekken 12 sounds like the accent that you would make coming out of Abbas.
Honestly, man, are you talking shit?
You went to go watch Tekken 12?
So let's go watch Tekken, man.
No, but it was one of those movies that was exactly the same as all the Tekken movies, but it was just a different title. So I watched the movie. I thought it was cool because I didn't pay for it. The popcorn was free, and another positive about that is that you can actually drink beer in the VIP theater. But I went to watch the regular schmegular seats, and unfortunately, I was in front of the mouthiest, loudest, most obnoxious freaking... I'm not even going to cuss them out and call them like bad words because I already did enough of that off air. But the female who was behind me, if ever I was able to catch your name or even see your face, I made the biggest mistake by not turning around and telling you to shut the hell up and keep your mouth shut while I watch this damn movie. I should have told her, be quiet, please. I'm trying to watch this movie. So basically, Jordan Peele, without giving any spoilers, I just felt like he was trying to make it another one of those complex, adding layers to the puzzle type movies where you have to really think outside of the box. And he did that with Get Out. Get Out was actually a better plot as opposed to this movie that came out, Us. And the reason why I even got hyped for Us is because when the trailer came out back on Christmas, I was super excited. He used a really dope song, which was a 90s classic. I got 5 on it. And then he added like a very horror twist to the beat by making it sound like a very creepy version of the song, right? And then all that just led to one big disappointment. So a lot of people have said otherwise, and that's totally fine. To each their own. Everyone has their own opinion. George will go watch it eventually. He might actually love it. And then finally we have a difference of opinion on something. Because I just didn't F with the movie. I didn't like it. That's just how I felt. I might have to watch it again, but I'm going to wait for the Netflix drop. Because I am not going to spend another $13. And by the way, movie theaters, y'all screwing us over with these damn...
scene points.
No, I don't
Bro,
care
they're
about the
going
scene
crazy.
points. Oh no, I don't care about the scene points. I care about the fact that movie tickets used to cost $4 back in the day, and now we're talking like $13 just for a regular. And like even cheap Tuesdays are not even cheap anymore. Why do we even call it cheap Tuesday?
It's like $10
when it's in a double-digit frame. Like I don't want to pay $10 to go watch a movie that I probably won't even like. So you know what? I do have to give credit to Netflix because eventually they're gonna drop that movie on there, and I'll most likely watch it on there. Same way I was supposed to do with Black Panther. Black Panther was another movie that I didn't enjoy, and my friends begged me. So all in all, my advice to you, if you have problems with people who are nonstop talkers and who won't shut up during a movie,
Don't be shy.
yeah,
Snap at 'em.
like Belly said,
Shame
don't be
them.
shy. Tell them to shut up. Or option
be
B,
shy.
wait 4 weeks after the movie drops, just before they stop playing in a movie theater, and watch it on a least likely day to go watch it in a movie theater, and wait for the last slot of the night, because you know everyone's gonna go to sleep on a Wednesday night. Like no one's gonna watch a movie at 4 weeks in on a Wednesday night. And on top of that, you most likely have the chance to sit at the very top in the middle, so you get the best view in the house.
I think, George, you didn't enjoy the movie for like a few reasons.
OCD.
No.
What?
It's probably your ADHD, because of the person talking behind you. B, I think it was because it was so overhyped. I'm actually not excited to go because I feel like my expectations for it will be too high because of how everyone is talking it up. And C, the reason I think you didn't enjoy it, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't think there was enough time in between his movies. People talked about his first movie so highly. It was a great movie. A lot of symbolism, great. And I assume the same for
That's
us
what
as
this
well.
had too. There was a lot of that.
But for his first movie, man, it was so good. But people didn't have the chance yet to have some time off to actually begin to say, man, like I missed that kind of movie, or like I really want to see a Jordan Peele movie. And because of that, because there was not enough time or like a big enough gap in between, you felt that high from his first film, and it kind of like carried over into this film, which exacerbated your expectations a little bit.
I give Jordan Peele some props because of all the cryptic messages in his movies.
Yeah.
Because of all the cryptic stuff in this movie, Us. What that does is it allows people to think so much about it. They're like, I have to go watch it again because I didn't catch it the first time. So they go and they spend their hard-earned dollars to go watch the damn movie again. Instead of waiting for it to come out on Netflix, they'll go ahead and watch it in the movie theater immediately again after, like a week later, or even the very next day, because the movie had so many like mysteries and cryptic elements and just a lot of layering, because I'm telling you, it was like a 3D puzzle, and you're trying to figure it out. And obviously there's a lot of things that I may have not caught, watching it the first time, and maybe the last time too. I can't confirm that yet, but it was just whatever. So, but anyways, I apologize to my friend for having her witnessing this bullshit too, because it was two of us having to struggle with that. And also, how dare you to the people who go to movie theaters to talk? How freaking dare you? Like, keep your mouth shut, like that was the one thing that I wanted to get off my chest. So I said it with my chest. You'll never catch me in movie theaters again, especially not at Lansdowne.
The worst theater around.
You're dismissed, VIP Lansdowne.
You're fired. In a Donald Trump voice.
Yes. So anything you got off your chest, or we're good to go, bro?
Honestly, I'm good. I'm sure I'm gonna have some shit to get off my chest next week.
Yeah.
Because I'm actually feeling good right now. But honestly, anyone that does spend any time around me, they will know. Doesn't take me long. It doesn't take me long until I get worked up again, bro. So
let's
don't worry,
not get
man. I'm gonna have some fire for you next week. Don't worry, bro.
Let's not get him worked up, man. Let's not get him worked up. One time.
And I feel like I blasted all those rappers and all their. I didn't get a chance to like tape with Nipsey.
Bro. Apologize to Fab. Like, he never did anything to you, man.
I don't care, bro. I
He
don't
ain't never
care.
did
Shots
anything.
are fired,
Just
man. You
throw
better
it in the bag, man. You know what I mean? Holla back, youngin, bro. Come on, man. You can't deny it. He's a writer.
Breathe.
George, breathe. One into the two, man. All right, man. 2G's in the pod. One time for Nipsey Hussle. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. God bless you. God bless his family. Everyone, and take care of each other, man.
All right. Peace.